Greetings, Athenian families, new and old. Eric Niles here at Athenian. Wanted to talk a little bit today about both the highlights of this year and also start setting some expectations for next year as well. Before I do that, let me acknowledge that things are so much more positive in California. We now have the lowest case rates in the nation, but I do want to acknowledge that there are other places that are certainly continuing to suffer pain, both in the United States. I'm thinking about India and elsewhere overseas. And so our prayers go out to those communities that they become as healthy as ours. Let me talk a little bit about the highlights of this year. First and foremost, let me talk about our teachers, our classroom teachers, our AWE teachers, instructors, our athletic teachers and coaches, our facility staff, our residential staff, our technology staff, and all the incredible ways that they have stepped forward, as have the administrators who support them, to make sure that our kids were served and that we were able to accomplish what we did at Athenian this year. Let me also call out our students. We talk a lot about resilience at Athenian. We often say there's more in you than you know when we go on the wilderness experience. We learned that in a new context this year, and to our students, I say thank you for your flexibility and your resilience all year long. Another highlight was certainly our safety plan, 100+ pages to bring us back to school safely. Supported by medical staff, industrial hygienist staff, and all the others that helped us to do this safely. Let me do a special shout out to my assistant, Debbie Durana, who went from her usual job to becoming instead running a testing service. We did over 7,000 COVID tests this year. We've had only 3 positive tests. We've had no viral transmission on campus. That's been an incredible enterprise that we've done here to keep the community safe. Thinking about next year and setting some expectations, and I'll try to keep this as simple as possible. Let's talk about vaccinations first. Really exciting news this week that it looks like vaccinations will be approved and available for those 12 and over in just the next few days. And I want to urge all of you then to go get vaccinated for yourselves, for your children, as soon as possible, knowing that vaccinations take some time. It takes 2 weeks after often the final vaccination to have your immunity set, and late August will happen as more quickly than we anticipate. I've been heartened to know that virtually 100% of our faculty and staff are vaccinated, and many of our students are already vaccinated. Like much during COVID, it's really hard to predict what the future will hold, but we are anticipating that the state of California may require COVID vaccines by next fall, much like they do many other childhood vaccinations, and we are operating accordingly. So again, our expectation is that the people in the community will become vaccinated, and we're asking you to do that as swiftly as possible. I know there may be some exceptions, like in the 6th grade for next year, and I promise we will be flexible and we will make plans if vaccinations are not available to those under 12 for next year. We don't need to talk a lot about that now. Just stay tuned for more details. We will, as we head towards next year, as I've said, we don't intend to be a school that does distance learning next year. The one exception may be for some international students, boarding students that have visa difficulties, but we are in touch with them and their families. But in general, we will be a 100% face-to-face in-person school. There may be additional safety measures next year. Again, I'm not going to talk in detail now because it's not worth it, because things will change. What I'd ask you all to do is what you've done all year long. Watch for our emails, watch for additional videos and information so that we keep you as up to date as possible. Enjoy the warm weather, and as the hills turn from green to gold, we see the light at the end of the tunnel from a very difficult school year. So appreciative for that, and also knowing that all of us will get a chance to catch our breath in June and July. Thank you so much for your partnership. I'll be in touch soon.